Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another Pokemon Go video. And in this one, we will be going over the power of Altaria in the Kingdom Cup here in this video. And to start this off, we're going to be taking a look at some PvP poke rankings and then get right into the sims of Altaria against the Kingdom Cup meta here. So let's jump right into this. And I'll leave a timestamp for when the Altaria battles start. But yeah, anyways. Let's take a look at Altaria here within the rankings. It's ranked as 18 in overall in the meta, and the best moveset here is Dragon Breath, Sky Attack, and Dragon Pulse. Um, its key matchups here are Blaziken, Empoleon, Alolan Marowak, Charizard, and Magmortar. And the top counters are Snowy Castform, Bastiodon, Hard Wall, Walrein, Alolan Ninetales, and Paragice. And then now let's move right into the battle simulation portion. Here we have custom with Altaria knowing Dragon Breath, Sky Attack, Dragon Pulse, and we are basically putting it up here against the whole like general Kingdom Cup meta. And let's do the battles here. So on this list, mainly we have Altaria, Bastiodon, Blaziken, Bronzong, Charizard, Dragonair, Empoleon, Flygon, Frostlass, Kingdra, Lapras, Lucario, Alolan Marowak, uh, the Melmetal, the Steelix, and the Torkoal. So yep, in Zero Shield scenario, Altaria actually wins half its matches against the meta with 8 wins, and then it loses to 7 of them and draws to 1. So as you can see here, it has very positive matchups against Blaziken. Since it's Dragon, it resists the fire moves, and it also resists the counter. Um, it does super effective flying damage against Lucario. But watch out for the shield bait from Lucario. Torkoal, it also resists fire. It resists ground types. Um, since the flying is actually immune to ground, it has a really good matchup against Flygon, dealing super effective Dragon Breath damage. It resists Charizard's moves as well. It, it takes a little bit from the Dragon Claws, but nothing you really need to shield there. Against the Kingdra, it does take super effective damage from Dragon Breath, but it takes so long to get the Outrage and Hydro Pump that it can probably just kill it with Sky Attacks or Dragon Breath itself. Dragonair, it does have a slight win against it because Dragonair is a little less tanky than Altaria is, um, and Dragonair only has access to Aqua Tail and Dragon Pulse. Sky Attack will do more than Aqua Tail. Against Alolan Marowak, it wins against Hex, Shadow Ball, and Bone Club. Um, that's just a matter of like tankiness and um, the fact that Alolan Marowak takes a lot longer to charge Shadow Ball. And then Altaria, obviously, it's a draw there. It loses to Steelix because of the Steel typing, and Steelix running Dragon Tail will do super effective quick damage. Crunch doing some nice chip damage there as well. It loses to Empoleon, surprisingly, because of that Blizzard, and Altaria here has no shield, so that's why that's there. Then loses to Bronzong. Um, Same reason, it resists the Dragon moves. Lapras obviously loses to that Ice Beam and without shields, obviously. Against Melmetal, it'll lose to that Rock Slide. Rock Slide being super effective. Bastiodon, it'll get hard walled. Smackdown and Stone Edge both doing super effective damage. And then Frostlass, obviously, Powder Snow and Avalanche dealing 4 times super effective damage. So let's get into one shield against the meta. This is actually an even draw, wins and losses, and then 2 draws. And yeah, pretty much the same outcome here. Bastiodon being the hard wall, and then let's go over 2 shields. Here it actually comes out with a lot more wins, so Altaria seems to be a very good lead for this meta. Comes out with 10 wins, 4 losses, and 2 draws. And Yeah, it gets walled by Bastion, Melmetal, Steelix, Frostlass. Lapras, it depends who has more energy gain and if Lapras wants to bait shield or not. So then a draw against Altaria. Dragonair somehow comes out on top in this scenario. Probably just because of the fact that um, I actually don't know really. Maybe because it can bait shields and Aqua Tail will charge faster than Sky Attack will. And then it actually beats Bronzong again because of the Dragon Breath damage dealing or being too much for Bronzong to handle in the end. Lucario is a very close match. I've actually been able to best Lucario because of shield baiting. Um, and then it beats Alolan Marowak. That's expected. Beats Kingdra, beats Empoleon, Torkoal, Blaziken, Charizard, and Flygon. Whew, okay, so I hope that wasn't too fast, but I wanted to make this PV poke portion shorter than the other ones. Um, because yeah, we have a lot of battles to show off today, and let's jump right into the battle portion of the video. Alright guys, here we are into the battle portion of the Power of Altaria video, and let's jump right into these first few battles here. So first here, we're going to lead with Altaria. We also have Steelix in there to cover for other Altarias and Bastiodon, and we also have Lucario for more extra protection against it. So in this first one, we have a mirror match, Altaria v Altaria. We get off that Sky Attack, and they don't shield, so that's good for us. They actually bring in Lucario, oddly enough, so we do get off that Sky Attack, forcing them to burn a shield. They get off a Power Up Punch, but we have no need to block. So here we bring in Lucario, they make a fast switch into Flygon there. And now we're just going to get off these Power Up Punches. They don't shield that, so that's good. We do decide to shield that Dragon Claw though, um, because we knew this Lucario was in the back, so we needed the health on our Lucario to finish that game. Now jumping in this next one, we're just going to go with the same party because it seemed to work last time. This time they opened Flygon, so this is another very positive matchup for Altaria. That Dragon Breath is going to rip apart Flygon because it's so squishy, and um, we can eat these Dragon Claws, but I do decide to shield that one so that we can preserve a little bit of extra health on our Altaria. And now he brings in Charizard, which is another positive matchup for us. We decided to block that Dragon Claw as well. We thought we could get to a Sky Attack before that Dragon Claw, but we couldn't. So yeah, we're in a rough scenario here. But luckily our Lucario can finish off the Charizard before it can get off a Blast Burn. And their last Pokemon is Lucario, so we just feint it with a Power Up Punch. So jumping into battle number 3 here. We got Altaria as a lead against Lapras. And that Lapras actually has Ice Shot, so we have to get out of there quickly. We do have to block that Surf because we don't want to take that Surf damage. They switch into Flygon, but we're super okay with that. We don't block that Dragon Claw this time. We learned from last time, but now they have their own Lucario in there. But we have that Altaria still. So we don't block that Power Up Punch, and here we are just trying to farm Lucario for the energy. So we end up blocking that Power Up Punch. Because this Lapras was going to kill us with Ice Shard if we didn't block. And yeah, it takes us out with 2 Ice Shards, and then we bring in Steelix, and we finish off the game right after this Surf, I believe. So yeah, that was a little close game. But we do take game number 4 there. Yeah, I think this might be the final match. Oh no, it's not. It's okay. It's not even close, but yeah, this one here, we finally get an unfavorable matchup against Bastion, so we have to get out of there ASAP. But they have a counter to my Lucario, and that is Charizard. So if they don't block the first Power Up Punch, and we're kind of happy about that because we did enough damage to where Lapras could just come in and basically get free energy without taking much damage at all from Charizard. But we know they're going to bring in their Bastiodon again. But it's actually Flygon. So that was a little interesting, but we go ahead and swap to Altaria to tank that Earthquake. And then their last Pokemon is going to be Bastiodon. So we're going to get farmed here a little bit. But we do go out with like 1 or 2 Sky attacks there. But this is a bad matchup for Lapras because that Stone Edge is doing super effective damage, and so is the Smackdown. But we do make him burn his last 2 shields with those Surfs. And this match kind of comes a little close. As you can see there, that is like maybe 3 or 4 Water Guns away. But Smackdown is just too strong, guys. But well played to him that game. This time we're going to open it up with Blaziken and see how we do. So we get him. We get him. We get him, guys. But he makes a fast switch into Charizard, so we bring out our Altaria. There's no need to block those Dragon Claws or Power Punches. It doesn't do enough damage to qualify for a shield usage. So here we both faint, and I bring in Blaziken, and they bring in Flygon. So an awful matchup for me. I decided to shield that Dragon Claw and switch out with the energy I had. And now comes their Bastiodon. So here we use Surf. We could get off a second Surf, which they do shield so that they can knock out our Lapras. But we do have this Blaziken, so we're just going for it. And you guys see here, we do have the fully charged Focus Blast, and we just lay it on the Flygon. We made sure to keep 1 shield there in case the Flygon had like an Earthquake or a Dragon Claw left over. But I knew I had that game when I switched out the Blaziken because I had so much extra energy saved, and I made him burn his last shield on the Bastiodon. So yeah, Blaziken is pretty strong in this cup. I just haven't really given it much thought, but here I'm using it a little bit more. And as I say that, we switch it out for Steelix, the god. Steelix the god. So anyways, we open Altaria versus Lucario. They bring in Bastiodon, so we switch into our Steelix, and they actually don't have Flamethrower, it seems. So we're even in a better matchup. And here we actually go for a Mind Game, and we do burn a shield using that Crunch instead of Earthquake. And this time we do use Earthquake, and they don't shield. So we just got a huge win there with Steelix. Huge Mind Game, and we burned a shield. So that's just a fantastic trade for us. And now we have Altaria versus Flygon here. I forced him to switch his Lucario. And here it comes out again. We still have 2 shields. We are looking fantastic. We're going to get off this last Sky Attack. But it gets a little scary here. Our last Pokemon is Lapras. So we have to block that Power Up Punch. And we just barely come out with the win with Water Gun. I was really scared he would have had another Power Up Punch by then, but he wasn't able to fire that off. And yeah, that's the end of the first set of Altaria battles versus Will. And now we're going to move on to our last set of battles, which are super intense, guys. Just you'll see what happens. But anyways, I'll see you in those battles. All right, guys, welcome back to the last battle portion of the video, and we have battles against our friend from the International PvP Discord. He is from Germany, and he's a super good opponent. He has placed really well in some huge, massive tournaments in Germany. He won a 40-plus person Great League Freestyle tournament, and he's placed like 3rd and 2nd in his Tempest and Twilight tournaments, I believe. And he's looking to win his Kingdom Cup tournament this Sunday. So let's have some battles against the Great League Freestyle champion of a huge, massive group there in Germany. So yeah, this guy's really good. He's also won 2 tournaments in our PvP group. So yeah, you're gonna see some really heated battles here. So let's jump right into this. Getting some quality Altaria practice here. So first we open off with the good old Altaria mirror match. So we don't block that sky attack there. He doesn't block that either, so that's perfectly fine. And we somehow come out with the win there, so we do have the turn advantage now. So we're gonna bring in Lucario for a mirror match. We do decide to shield that power up punch to get off our own power up punch. Um, and he brings in that Blaziken, so this is an alright matchup for us. We're gonna have to shield that Brave Bird. Um, we actually decided to use that Surf just to burn his last shield, and yeah, that's game there. So that fooled me. I didn't even know the game was over that quick. I thought he had one more Pokemon left, but yeah, that was game. Going into this next one here, we're gonna try to trick him with a mind game and lead. Actually, no, we're gonna just lead with Altaria again. You'll see later in this video though that we do get him with mind games. But he opens with Bastion, so we have to get out of there ASAP into Lucario, but he does switch into Charizard there. So we go for the Power Punch and the Shadow Ball back to back. And that's fine because we're going to farm the rest of Charizard with our own Charizard. We do block that Dragon Claw, and we allow this one to go through. So this is a tough matchup for us because he has that Bastion on there. But he doesn't shield that Blast Burn, which does a really good amount of damage. And we have our Altaria in the back, so this is going to be rough. But he uses a Flamethrower instead. Pretty interesting there. But here we're just going to farm tons of energy from it. And he has Lucario way in the back. So yeah, we burn his last shield there. We get off the Sky Attack. And we have that final shield left to block this Power Punch. And we take the win. So yeah, that was huge. We went from a terrible opening matchup with Altaria locked in against Bastion. Not locked in, but we had a terrible opening match and we were able to come out on top. We that Bastion had just barely enough health left to farm it plenty for Altaria there, and we had the shield advantage in the end. So yeah, going into this next matchup, we lead with Altaria once again. They lead with Bastion again. So yeah, they're predicting us well. We're being too predictable with the Altaria leads here. But we're going to stay in a little longer in this one and see how it plays out. We do let our Altaria die. That was a sacrifice pretty much, but they bring in their Altaria against my Lucario. So yeah, this is pretty bad for us, but we're going to shield the Sky Attack, and we get him with the Shadow Claw. Or the Shadow Ball. He probably thought that was a Power Up Punch. But anyways, to finish this off, we got Charizard versus Lucario. We're going to let that Power Up Punch go through. And his last Pokemon is Bastion. But we do make him use that final shield with Dragon Claw. But it doesn't matter. That Smackdown's just going to do like 20 plus damage per hit to Charizard since it's 4 times weak to that rock. The rock move that is Smackdown. So yeah, this is where the battles shift in my favor a little bit more, I think. Because we're going to start switching up our leads. We're going to lead with Steelix again. And he leads with Altaria. So this is a positive matchup for us. He brings in that Blaziken. So here we are with Altaria, guys. The main job for Altaria in this meta is to counter the fighting types like this. And it does really well against Alolan Marowak, as you saw. And yeah, they bring in this Bastion here. So we're pretty much screwed. They're going to farm a little bit of energy from us. But now we have a free switch into Lucario here. They bring out Altaria, so we're going to switch right back into Steelix to preserve a shield from being used there. And we're going to just start spamming with these crunches. He did use one, I think he used one shield earlier on the crunch. Or maybe not, but yeah, he did. But anyways, now we're in a good scenario because we're about to ramp up our Lucario some more. We're going to take out that Altaria. And his Bastion is, well, dead. Literally, his Bastion was in a terrible spot. My Lucario was ramped up. Yeah, that was game right there. And in this next one, we're going to switch up the leads and lead with Altaria. And we're trying to read his leads here, and we do read this one correctly. So they open Charizard, they switch into Lucario. I'm completely fine with that because it's another favorable matchup for me. So now I know that my Altaria has 2 positive matchups against his squad right now in this current battle. Um, so yeah, we're not going to block any of those moves. He blocks both of our sky attacks, and he has already burned both shields. So now we are in a 2 shield scenario, or 2-0 shield. But his Charizard is going to be a little bit of a problem here. But we do get enough chip damage onto it from that Lucario that our Steelix can finish us off with just Dragon Tails, I believe. And yes, it can. And his final Pokemon is Bastiodon with no shields. So Steelix is just going to go ham in this scenario. And we still had 1 shield remaining. But we finish it off with 1 Earthquake and 1 Crunch. That's a perfect example of Steelix and Altaria pairing amazingly together. Altaria covers Steelix's weakness to Charizard and his weakness to Blaziken and Lucario, while Steelix covers the Bastiodon weakness from Altaria. And they both can cover Alolan Marowak quite well. But yeah, in this one we read him again. Opening Lucario versus his Bastiodon, he switches into Blaziken, so we swap right into Altaria. They use a Brave Bird, but there's absolutely no need to block it because we have the advantage. And this time, we don't allow their Bastiodon to farm nearly as much energy because we let the Brave Bird go through. So now we have our Lucario in an amazing spot. It's already used 1 or 2 power punches at this point, and they switch into Charizard. So I make a really bad switch here into Steelix. I don't know why I did that. I was expecting like some other Pokemon in the end. I don't know why, but yeah, their Charizard's gonna go ham here. It's gonna blast burn me to death, and my Lucario is pretty much toast here. And yeah, it's gonna be really close, but he comes out on top for that one. So I realized my team was really weak to Charizard, so I think I switch out Steelix here for Lapras. Yep, there we go. We switch Steelix out for Lapras, and we lead with Altaria here. And once again, we have another very positive lead against Blaziken. Altaria is just going to school this Blaziken, but he has that Bastion, so we switch into Lucario, and they switch into Charizard because we gave them the switch advantage. Here we're just going to let our Lucario faint pretty much. We're not going to block anything. But this is so that we can bring in our Lapras to charge a little bit of extra energy. Because we now need our Lapras for that Bastiodon. So here we're going to fire off a Surf. We're going to do some energy charging. We're also going to block that Stone Edge. And we're going to get off another Surf to do a good chunk of damage. And then our Altaria here is against Bastiodon, so this is very bad. He fires off that Stone Edge, and they still have a shield left, so yeah, this game is pretty much all but over at this point. Yeah, we put a good fight up against him, but that Altaria just gets walled to Bastiodon. Or gets walled by Bastiodon, I should say. So going in this next match, we switch it up a little bit. We are going to lead with Lucario. We're pretty much going back and forth with leads to see what we can read out of him, because he was liking to lead with Bastiodon, but in this one he reads me and leads with Altaria. So interestingly enough here, we're going to go for shield baits. So we're going to block this first sky attack. We're going to fake out the Shadow Ball, use Power Punch. He shields. And now here we're just going to use Shadow Ball and see what he does here. And he didn't end up blocking that, I don't think. Or no, he did. He actually ended up using both shields there. Um, so yeah, our Altaria is now in a pretty good spot because we can switch out whenever. And his Charizard is in. So yeah, whatever his last Pokemon is, it's not Bastion because he didn't switch into it. And look at that, it's Lucario. We get a free Sky Attack off since they have no shields left. And our Blaziken here can beat out that Lucario. So well played in that matchup. I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but these matchups are much more heated. And I feel like these are a lot better showings of Altaria because he's using a lot more Bastiodon, and it's a lot more of a hard counter. So it's harder to get wins against this opponent. But in this matchup, we lead with Lucario against Lapras. They switch into Charizard after loading some energy on that Lapras there. We bring in our trusty Altaria to clean up this Charizard, but we do have to use one shield to prevent that Dragon Claw damage. Here we're looking to basically get enough energy to kill whatever's left. But he does bring in Bastiodon, so we were stuck. But look at that. We have two Bastiodon counters here. Lucario is going to go ham. And his last Pokemon is Lapras, which we knew. So we're fine with taking that damage there. And Blaziken is going to go to work against Lapras here. And I think it's just barely able to squeeze out that win. Yep. Blaziken finishes off that game, beating out the Lapras and the Bastiodon. So yeah, that was a little risky. But in the beginning there, we actually were able to take out, or nearly take out, that Altaria with Lucario. So that was really interesting. But yeah, in this one, we're going to lead with Altaria, have Steelix in the middle, and then have Lucario at the back. So look at that, another favorable matchup. Boy, I'm loving these in the moment. He's going to use his Power Punch. We're not going to shield that because there's no need to. We're going to get after that Sky Attack to force out a shield. And yeah, this is pretty much what Altaria is used for. It's to counter Lucario and to do any extra damage that it needs to do. So yeah, now we have a favorable match against Steelix, or against Altaria. But they switch out into Lapras, so we switch into Lucario. We're going to start ramping it up with power-up punches here. Got a little bit of lag going on, but that's fine. And now their Altaria is left shieldless, and our Lucario is running rampant with those charge moves. But we do let it die. We don't want to get too greedy there. And we want to finish off that Altaria with Steelix. That's probably the safest option we could have done. But yeah, we had that win regardless of shields. So going into this one, we're going to switch up the lead once again from Altaria to Lucario. Every time we win a lead with Altaria, we think he's going to lead Bastiodon next, which he does. So he has to switch out to Charizard. We get to switch into Altaria once again. This is, a favorable matchup as always. We don't need to block those Dragon Claws. We can eat them all day long. At least two of them. And now his Altaria comes out, and we know his last Pokemon is Bastiodon, so Steelix here is pretty much free to just dominate the last two Pokemon. So that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna crunch his way to victory against this Altaria. And now here comes the Bastiodon. So watch this. I switch out to Lucario, get off that Power Punch. We force the shield, and he's pretty much all but done for here. And we take this game pretty convincingly. We still had a shield left, as well as like a half HP Steelix with energy. And now we're gonna switch up the lead again, I think. Yep, we're gonna go from Lucario back to Altaria and see if he leads with Blaziken, and he does. So we have really accurate reads on him in these battles, which is a lot of the reason why I think I win a lot of these. But I mean, still, we play it really well. He plays it really well as well, but we just have the better reads. And as you can see here, we have Steelix in there against Altaria. That is not good for his Altaria. And now he brings in Charizard. So we're going to crunch away through his first shield. Bring out Altaria. We're going to force a second shield here, or damage, which we get damage. We're going to block that Sky Attack because, I mean, why not? We still had 2 shields. And his last Pokemon was that Blaziken, and I guess he didn't shield because he knew he lost. Or maybe he was lagging. But we were going to win that regardless, so. Yeah, we're going to switch up the leads once again. We're pretty much just going back and forth between Lucario and Altaria, hoping for Bastiodon leads, so. But this time he gets me with Charizard, so I got to switch out to Altaria there. He brings in his own Altaria for the mirror match. So we know at this point he doesn't have Bastiodon, because if he did, he would have switched into it. But yeah, we're just going to battle it out here. His Altaria wins with 1 HP and has energy, I believe. So we're going to switch into Lucario to attempt the Lucario sweep. But remember, he has that Charizard that's going to destroy us with Blast Burn, and he's going to get off another Blast Burn. Or actually, no, he uses a Dragon Claw there instead of a Blast Burn. And we kill him with Crunch, and then his last Pokemon is Blaziken. So all we can do here is hope Crunch will KO Blaziken, but it's definitely not. So we do take that loss there. That Charizard and Blaziken combo was pretty scary for us. But I think that's just fine, because now we're going to open with Altaria. And we're going to run Lapras this time and see how this goes. So look at that. We got a somewhat even matchup. That's pretty unfavorable for us though. So we got to switch right into Lucario, and we do eat that Ice Beam. He brings in that Charizard to knock out our Lucario, and we get the switch advantage into Lapras here. We're gonna block that Dragon Claw, and then he brings in his own Lapras, so we got a mirror match. We're just gonna surf it to death and see if he blocks. So he blocks that first one. He's gonna use his own surf. We're gonna use our own surf to take out that Lapras, and then his last Pokemon is Altaria. So this is interesting because we both have 1 shield, but it's all based on who's gonna do more damage. And at this point, it looks like I'm gonna do more damage. So we're gonna get off that final Sky Attack, and we're barely just gonna be able to squeeze that out with Dragon Breath alone. I'm sure he was like maybe 1 or 2 Dragon Breaths worth of energy away from another Sky Attack, so that was a pretty close series. But yeah, this one, leading Altaria, once again. And let's see what he leads with here. He's going to lead with his own Altaria, so yeah, that was pretty much a reset there. We're both gonna just try to fight it out, but I do block that first Sky Attack. I wanted to see what he'll do on this Sky Attack, and he just eats it. So we get the switch advantage here. But we both use 1 shield, so I'm actually in the favorable spot because I have the switch advantage. But he actually fools me out there and gets me with the Blast Burn. I didn't think he had enough energy for that, but we do end up finishing him off. His last Pokemon is Lucario, so here again we have another Lucario mirror match. But our Lucario can just barely scrape it out with another 1 HP win against him. And yeah, this one we're going to lead with Lucario and see if we can catch another Bastiodon lead. And no, he leads with Altaria. So once again, we're gonna go for the shield baits. We're gonna block this first sky attack, making him think we're gonna get off a Shadow Ball, but we actually use Power Up Punch. They shield. So as you can see, Lucario is a great shield baiter against Altaria, and he shielded another charge attack, and that one was a Shadow Ball. So I mean that's okay. I mean if you look at Altaria's health, it's in the red, so that's a pretty good result. But I'm gonna have to shield that Dragon Pulse. Now he brings in Bastion to farm me, but I'm gonna bring in Lapras. And he actually brings in Charizard. So we're going to take out that Charizard with a Surf. Here comes Bastion again. He's going to get off that Stone Edge and going to wreck me. But we're going to be able to get off one more Surf before we go out. And now we're just crossing our fingers. We're not going to win this, but you guys will see how close it really gets. Yeah, that's how close it gets. So if we had just a little more energy, we could have maybe gotten off 3 Sky Attacks, but that was a stretch. So jumping into these last few battles here, we got Altaria Lead versus Charizard. This is very favorable for us. He switches into his own Altaria, so we're going to switch into Steelix. Um, I don't know, guys. I just love the Steelix, Altaria, and Lucario trio. Even though it's weak to Charizard, there's ways to get around it. Just basically don't lead with Altaria. Keep Altaria for Charizard for when you do see it. Yeah, here comes his Charizard again. We're going to crunch it. He doesn't shield, so that's good for us. We're going to bring in our Altaria with a pre-charged Sky Attack to force a shield out of him. He's going to use Dragon Claw, but we don't need to shield that, so we are going to take down the Charizard, and now that Bastion is a dead Bastion because we got the shield advantage, and we have the 4 times super effective damage. So that was a great read there from me. And moving into this last battle here of the recording, we got a Lucario to finish it off. We got a Lucario lead to finish off these battles. And look at that. It's a Bastion lead, so perfect. He brings in Blaziken. I bring in Altaria here. And if you guys look closely here, I stop attacking. Trying to time, basically trying to time it to where his Bastion won't be able to gain much damage energy from my Altaria. But he actually brings in Charizard here. So we're going to get out 2 Sky Attacks to force him to shield and do good damage. Now we're going to bring in Lucario, shield the Dragon Claw here, and his last Pokemon is the Bastiodon. So yeah, he's going to just stop attacking because I think he was either lagging or he knew he lost. So well played to him overall in these battles. I personally had a lot of fun. And this makes up for the video I uploaded yesterday where I just got absolutely wrecked. Um, that video was more of a bad opening series. Like I had a ton of bad opening matchups, but um, um, it was pointed out to me that it's best not to shield Shadow Balls from or it's best not to shield or it's best not to use your shields on Altaria if it's getting hit by a Shadow Ball or a Power Up Punch. But the thing is that it's quite easy to bait a Shadow Ball from a Lucario, so that's why I shielded in the last episode or in the last video. I was just being stupid. I wasn't playing my A game, but these videos I definitely was. I was trying pretty hard to show you guys how Altaria can be used and what it's used for. And yeah, I appreciate your guys' feedback, especially Jimma Banks. I appreciate you, dude. Uh, and everyone for commenting and liking, and especially for all my subs. Um, I've been trying to grind out videos to get to 100 subs before the end of this month, and we are only like 7 or 8 away from that. So we're definitely gonna hit that. So I appreciate all you guys for doing all that, and for your support. It's felt incredible to make videos and them have a bunch of views and likes, and know that they're helping a bunch of people out. So yeah, that's amazing, and I appreciate all of you. So to wrap this video up, um, I hope you enjoyed and I hope you learned something about Altaria and how to use it and how it does against the Kingdom Cup meta. If you enjoyed this video, again, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I hate saying this, but it helps me out when you guys subscribe and all that stuff. It gives me a lot more motivation to make videos and to make quality videos. I hope you all enjoyed. I will talk to you guys in the next one, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Peace.